We will have our final speaker, Özge Hacıfazlıoğlu. Dr. Özge Hacıfazlıoğlu is currently an associate professor at Istanbul Kültür University, serving as the assistant dean at the Faculty of Education. She holds a doctorate in educational administration and pursued her postdoctorate education at Arizona State University. She lectured extensively at national and international conferences and educational meetings. She also authored and co-authored articles and chapters in peer-reviewed articles, professional journals and books. She is the national representative of International Study Association of Teachers and Teaching since 2009. Her areas of interest include higher education administration, educational leadership and academic leadership. Dr. Hacıfazlıoğlu serves as the primary investigator for the Global Researcher Project funded by the Scientific and Technological Research Council of Turkey. Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Canan. Birsen Hocam, this is not fair. After this wonderful concert, I guess I need to dance or jump or whatever. Thank you so much. I feel privileged and honored to be here because after this whole wonderful day, I felt like I'm back home because I come from the ELT background, and for the last more than 10 years I've been working on issues of educational leadership and teacher education, but my roots are from ELT. So thanks a lot to Birsen Hocam for inviting me here, and she has served as me for my mentor for more than, I guess, 15 years. So thank you so much. My presentation today is about balance. Actually, I was talking with our professors, that thank you so much for your wonderful talks. And my speech, in a way, complements the other speeches given during the day, because it's related with the challenges of being a teacher, English teacher, but at the same time, how we maintain balance in our lives. I want to start with this picture. I like this so much. And I want to ask you to think about for a while, where do you see yourself in this picture? Do you see yourself in your career, or today, or yesterday, or maybe 10 years ago, but sometime in your career? Yes? Anyone? Aydan Hocam, anywhere here? Thinking about it, yeah. Or Veysel Hocam? And you cannot see, I know, yeah, because of the... this is so ironical, because in this picture you see the lady over there. Sorry, I'm trying to use it. Huh? Yeah, because especially for K-12 education, we not only try to take care of our students, but also with the parents. Do you have parents like this? Pulling the child, trying to take the kid to the school. This is valid for the K-12 education, but even, believe me, when I was working as an administrator in the English language preparatory school, we had parents coming and knocking our doors. I'm like, come on, this is a university, but still, I know that we have parents knocking the doors still at the university. And we have parents like this, or kids like this, whatever you do, they try to continue with their own agenda. And you see, people here, but do you see the computer here? This is like a tribe, actually. But what I like here is, can you see the scene here? And there's a group of people trying to produce a melody, a music. And as an English language teacher, whether we work at a university, whether we work at a high school, whether we work at an advantaged neighborhood or a disadvantage, what we try to do is to make a show. I tell to my students that show must go on. We need to present our shows. And in the last 2 years, we have been working on a project sponsored by TÜBİTAK, and our project is mainly about immigrant students living in disadvantaged regions in Istanbul. Gazi Osman Paşa, Esenyurt, and Zeytinburnu and Büyükçekmece. Believe me, some public schools there are really disadvantaged, and you cannot believe that it's Istanbul from time to time. And we have great stories of teachers who try to turn their dystopias into utopias in their own school settings. So as our professors mentioned, our role as a teacher is very important. So, what is our role? To teach English? Yes, as we talked about before, people see you only as an English teacher. But, our role is to, this is the outline, sorry. I'm going to be talking about our role, our challenges a little bit, and then I'm going to be focusing more on the issue of balance. And stories of balance and the reflection. So our role as an English teacher, as you see here, our role is to teach English, yes, but also our role is to be mentors for our students, mentors for our parents. So in a way, we try to improve the lives of the children, but also families, not only the children, but also the families. And do you see the picture over there? I like this so much, metaphorically. And if we think that we are the flowers in the middle of this picture, can you see the hand on the left hand? There is a person trying to give some water. If we think that that person is our mentor, in a way, we need a mentor. In our career, we need a couple of mentors throughout our career. But the mentor, of course, the role of the mentor is very important, trying to balance that water that feeds us, that gives us some inspiration. Our teachers, our professors, but sometimes our kids, our children, and our students also serve as our mentors. And do you see the eyes over there? On the bottom of the picture? We need eyes to follow us, to watch us. Because self-reflection is important, looking at the mirror and looking at your professional development. But, we need people to tell us that you are doing wrong here. You need to change yourself. Or why don't you try that one? We need another voice to help us. So what is our role as a teacher? I know from my own teaching background is I taught more than 10 years in English at the preparatory schools, at universities, and sometimes at K-12 education institutions in Turkey and outside Turkey. And you need to prepare your lessons, you need to grade exams, you need to write feedback, lots of feedback in the writing projects. You need to follow up portfolios. So it's like, in a way, being an academic, being a faculty member. Because when I moved to academia, I don't see it in a different way. Because being an English teacher is a very, very academic task. Because you need to attend conferences, you need to follow what is recent in literature. By the way, this is very hot, you're right. I'm I'm in the spa. Okay. And sometimes, do you find yourself to check out, sometimes we skip our personal duties, sometimes as a woman or as a man, we need to take care of ourselves, we need to do sports, spend some time for our own professional development, attend concerts, listen to music. But as a teacher, from time to time, we lose the balance in our lives because we compensate it. Because keeping the balance between private life and the work-life balance is very difficult. And I conducted my postdoctorate research in balance because I was at that time, it was 6 years ago, and I went to Arizona State University for my postdoc research. And as a mother, at that time I had only one son, and as a faculty member, and as a department chair, I was trying to keep balance in my life, and I couldn't actually, because I compensated a lot in my life. And I said to myself, there is something wrong here. I don't want to compensate throughout my life. And I wanted to hear the stories of women leaders from two cultures, a group of women leaders from Turkey and a group of women leaders from Arizona, and to see whether there are alternative ways. Unfortunately, what I found, still they are trying to maintain balance in their lives. There's no direct recipe, There is no one recipe that I can give it to you, because it's like learning in time. We learn how to keep balance in our lives in time, as time passes. And we talked about technology. Even in tribes, in many parts of the world, especially if you're an English teacher, you need to be very competent in technology. And we like, keeping in touch with our students. We like checking our mobile phones all the time, writing them instant messages, Instagram, Facebook, the social media, that's good, But at the same time, doesn't it take so much time from our kids or from our parents, from our members of the families? You know, we are not aware of it most of the time. I want to ask you a question. At the weekend, think about your role as a mother or as a father or as a friend. You know, you may not be married, but for your friends. And do you turn off your mobile phones at the weekends? No. Any one of you, you know, who is courageous enough to turn off the mobile phone all Saturday and Sunday? One? Yes, do you do it? Excellent. And how do you do it? You switch it. Excellent. Yeah, that's it. That is easy. Yeah, and you're doing it? Yeah. You say, okay, yeah, after the fight. Thank you for being honest. Yeah. And you know, in one of the recent studies published by APA, they say that if you switch your mobile phone off for the whole weekend and go out for a picnic or for a concert, on Monday, your production increases 40%. Do you believe? I know it, but still, you know, it's easy. It's very difficult to turn it off. I remember 2 years ago, I tried to switch it off completely. And I was working at another foundation university at that time. And they were like, people were calling me, and then they were like, Özge might have been taken to a hospital. Otherwise, she wouldn't turn off her mobile phone. And on Monday, they said, oh, you're alive. I said, yeah. Because, you know, people expect you. Expectancy is getting higher. And your students expect you to be online all the time, your friends, but this is not good. Because then we have that teacher burnout. Then we have these sad stories of the teacher who cannot maintain balance in their lives. And especially after technology. Today I will be giving you some brief explanations about the 4 types of balance. And then I want you to think about yourself. And I want to hold a mirror to you. I know it's very difficult after this wonderful talks and concert. But think about your journey as a teacher. And which types of balance do you use in your lives? As a teacher, as an administrator, because I know that some of you have many roles as a teacher, as a coordinator, as the head of a program. And the first one is instrumental balance. The second one is compensational balance. The third one is conflicting balance. And the fourth one is segmentational balance. I have stories of people, faculty members from the 2 countries. Of course, I won't be able to share it fully today, but if you're interested, I can send you the PDF versions of the article. And in the first segmentational model, actually, there is no relation between work and other areas of individual's life. It is very much, actually, there is no balance. These people are in a very risky phase of their career and of their life because they are not aware that there is no balance in their lives. I know some school principals and head of some programs who are workaholics, and they say that, you know, do you have a hobby? I said to ask them. Yeah, my hobby is to work. Come on, you know. And then, you know, what do you do at the weekends? I love going to work and then working. This is segmentational balance. And they think that by working so hard, in a way, there is no balance in their lives, and they are not aware of that. And the second one is compensational model. Many of us actually use it all the time. It's when an individual uses one sphere to make up for what is lacking in other spheres. We compensate from our kids, from our family, from our parents, elderly people, friends, and most of the time from our health, actually. Do you have friends complaining to you that you haven't called them for a while? Yes, yes, we have, yeah. They say, where are you? We lost you, yeah. And actually, how many of you try to spend some time for your physical activities? Do you go for a gym or a club during the week time or at the weekends? 1, 2, 3, good. But still, you know, it's only 1/4 of the group, I guess. Yeah, unfortunately, because our reasons is generally we go and pay the tuition or we give and register for the club. And then for 1 year, we skip the other day, the other week, because this is our routine. Because work comes before everything. And then when we lose our health, in a way, we try to compensate and try to just adjust everything in our lives. And how many of you is planning to go to see a doctor for a while and couldn't go? How many of you? Yes, you see? Almost half. You see? Yeah. I know, it happens to us that because we say, I can do it, you know. You might have some problems in your heart, or you know, you can have high blood pressure, but still you say, okay, I'm gonna drink a lemon, and I'm gonna do this and take an aspirin, and then I will do it later time. Because we are trying to postpone everything in our lives actually. In the conflict model, this is again the second phase, second risky phase actually, because we start to conflict with the people. We know that from inside there is something wrong in us, you know. We don't keep the balance, and then by shouting at our maybe friends, or by being in negative conflicts with our friends, families, and generally our mothers and parents, elderly people try to, you know, take care of us, and you know, they just say okay. But our kids, most of the time, we get into conflict with the people who are very close to us. In a way, you know, from their behaviors we can understand it, because they in a way hold a mirror to us. But if we want to understand it, otherwise we generally try to neglect those signals in our lives. This is the best one. The fourth one is the instrumental model of balance. And one sphere facilitates the other's success. So, if you are very successful in your career, but at the same time, if you spend time with your friends, if you spend time for your own preferences in life, then it means that you can maintain instrumental balance. This is very difficult, because like in the instrument that was developed in England, and they ask one question, because when people look at it, first of all, they say, I'm good. I'm in this phase, you know, instrumental balance generally, because we have the tendency to rate ourselves in a positive way. We don't want to accept the reality actually. But then, like, imagine then at night you are sitting at the dinner table with your family, with your parents or with your kids, and do you check your mobile phones? Yes, sometimes, yeah. If you do it, it means you are not in that phase, because it's like focusing on the conversation, having a fruitful conversation with your friends, having a fruitful conversation with your family members, and at the same time, like if you want to go see a doctor, but if you don't go and see the doctor for a while, it means that you are compensating a lot. In my study, I have seen that in both countries, women's role is very difficult. But after a while talking with the men, after that research actually, especially if you have an administrative role, we compensate a lot. Especially if you are moving in your career as a faculty member, you know. Like one of them said that, oh, I remember the times that I missed all my kids' concerts. She was a dean, US dean. And when I talked with the deans in Turkey, they said, oh yeah, my husband raised my kids, you know, or my mother-in-law, or my mother raised my kids. I have seen that women in Turkey are luckier when compared to women in the States, because we have a female hand on our shoulders helping us. But still, it's not easy. And one of the Turkish deans, her nickname is pseudonym is Zeynep. I wanted to share her anecdote with you, because she served as an English teacher. She worked as an English teacher for more than 10 years. And this is what she says. My mother-in-law said, çok şükür, when I resigned from the leadership position, and so did my mother. My father supported me a lot. He was very proud of seeing my efforts to change in the form of idealism. I was like an exhausted warrior who was trying to shoulder the world. I thought I was going to be the one who would change and improve every weakness I saw throughout my career and research life. She continues, and I worked as an English language instructor before getting my PhD for more than 10 years. I believe working in challenging conditions prepared me for a life that's getting harder each day. And then after I talked to her and I went to Arizona, I was in close contact with her. She said one night she was taken to a hospital because she thought she was having a heart attack. And people thought, but she didn't, because they said it was due to stress. And she was a very strong lady, you know. I admired her a lot while talking to her, but she said, she confessed to me that a couple of times I locked my door. I cried, but I didn't show it to the people because I'm a strong leader, you know. I need to show that I'm strong. But of course, you know, I have had many health problems in relation with that role. I want to use the metaphor against the tide, because like as English language instructors and teachers actually, we are as if swimming against the tide that was said by Sandra Hansen to illustrate the living lives of Afro-American ladies in the States. And it was interesting that in one of my studies with the English language teachers, almost many of the English language teachers asserted that they are trying to continue their career by doing their MAs or trying to continue their academic career by doing their PhDs. This is very unique, especially when compared to the other fields of education, teacher education fields. So people from the ELT world appears to be very, very interested in trying to develop themselves professionally. So this brings a lot of constraints, positive effects, and sometimes difficulties as well. So what can we do? We can create communities of practice. It was proposed by Wenger in the late 1990s especially for the private sector. But it's pretty obvious that we can use those communities of practice. In Arizona, at Arizona State University, in the Educational Leadership Program, we taught one semester course. And there were a couple of people from the ELT world for the PhD, as a PhD candidates. And the name of the course was Creating Communities of Practice. Because if we know how to create communities of practice, then we can share our experiences. We can share our experiences with our friends and give them some tactics, and we can share our reflections. And mentoring is very important. I guess I have maybe 15 minutes to go. And the forms of reflection could be, as you say, self-reflection, as you can see here. And it could be peer reflection with our friends. It could be group reflection, or it could be the whole group reflection, like it could be with the whole ELT world. Actually, what we are doing today is some sort of the creating international communities of practice, with our guests from Denver. It was great, having those opportunities together. So we can create international communities of practice in the ELT world. And because it's interesting that people from the ELT are very, very connected with doing research. And without knowing, most of the time, we are conducting our own action research. Very valuable, unique experiences. We know how to share those experiences because we have anecdotes in our minds, but we don't know how to collect them. Or we know, but we say, okay, I will write it next time. I will leave it to another day. For 10 minutes, for the last 10 minutes, I want to share you one of my research findings, which I think that maybe after this session you might think about writing your own diary. Before starting this, do you keep your diaries currently? Yes, how many of you? Ah, excellent. Like it's a daily routine diary or a professional diary? Professional diary, are you a student or a teacher? Student. As a student, you keep your diaries. Congratulations. Very nice. So you're an ELT student? ELL, very good. Excellent, yeah, I'm glad to hear that. So I presented this paper at Ghent University for an IZ conference. And in one of my master classes, actually, I said, okay, I'm going to take an opportunity to ask my students to keep diaries. And they were all students from enrolled in the Educational Leadership Master Program. And I asked them for 1 year, for 2 semesters, can you keep your diaries? But not, of course, every day. It's not fair to ask them because they are working as a full-time teacher at the same time. I said 1 critical incident per week. I'm going to collect them, and then we're going to be discussing on those issues as case studies. They said, fine, but, from their faces, they weren't very happy. Because culturally, they're like, we don't like writing. And a couple of them said, Professor, can we share it with you personally, but rather than writing? I don't like writing. And after a while, I'm going to skip that. So there were 10 teachers and school administrators who just participated in this study. And I asked them these 2 questions after we finished the 1 year. Who are you as a teacher and an administrator after considering this experience? And what new quality would you bring to your work? Total, can you believe, 405 stories were collected. And currently I'm trying to analyze the content of the stories, but it was like a pre and post test. So in the press stage, they weren't very prepared and they weren't very happy. They said, the first week out of 30 students, there were only one. That was only one. And then the second week, there were only a couple of papers. And I said to them after 4 weeks, okay, I want you to write. And this is the Turkish way. I'm not going to be giving you a final exam. Instead, if you write and collect your diaries, it's obvious that you will guarantee that you will pass your class, and then you're going to get additional remarks. And then, suddenly they turned out to be like a very, very competent writers, writing all the time, And when I presented this paper in Belgium, I didn't say it first. I said to people, okay, this is the data, this is, in detail, I presented the paper. And one of the principals from New Zealand, he raised his hand, Professor, I am impressed with the Turkish teachers' tendency to write, I said, but there's a trick, behind that, And they say, wow, very smart. So we're going to try it, giving additional rewards for the teachers, because even though you're a teacher, we need rewards. And one of my students, who was a coordinator, fortunately he wasn't an ELL teacher actually, but he said that he confessed to me that, teacher, professor, I'm a principal. I have a very important role here. The first 2 weeks, I wanted to write, but I was telling to one of my history teachers literature teachers that, these are the keywords. Write me something, write a story for me. He was trying to trick me, but then he felt so guilty that, and I have realized that she's learning a lot by writing. So he decided to write, and then I said, okay, thank you for being honest. And then almost all of them wrote their stories, and, these are the themes that we found, actually. They found initial challenges, and they say that it's an awareness after self-reflection. They underlined the importance of trust and sincerity, and they believe that diaries could be used as a vehicle, as an instrument for self-reflection. And this is one of the main themes of that research. And today I thought that, trying to maintain a balance in our lives, maybe not every day, but we can write a critical incident, or at least if we cannot write, we can record it, because after 3 years, it will be very valuable. I remember my heroes or heroines, just in the participants who participated in my research. After 3 years or 4 years, some of them said to me, Özge, I'm very curious what I talked to you in detail. Can you send me the transcriptions? Because, they don't keep their transcriptions. They don't write. So they were very, very eager to read my, interview with them. And there was a lady, she was very good, she confessed every detail in her life. And one day, in terms of balance, she said, maybe she was a professor in the field of sociology. And she said, Özge, I was lucky because I didn't get married. And I said, okay. And after 2 years, I talked to her again. She said, maybe I wasn't lucky. I compensated all my life, for my career. Try to write, try to collect data. And then after 1 year, I learned that she got engaged and then she tried to change her life. This doesn't guarantee that she's going to have a very happy marriage, but still, she was trying. So throughout our lives, we are trying to maintain a balance in our lives. And maybe by writing, by thinking about it, by asking people around us, we can have an awareness after reflection. They said continuity in writing is very important, and producing solutions as a result of writing, and contributing to our own professional development as well as others. This was very interesting. They underlined the importance of trust and sincerity, because they said that, most of them actually said, the sense of trust and sincerity developed throughout the process. And the more they wrote, the more they felt comfortable. But they said it was an unfamiliar process, because from the childhood, although we know that it's important, we are not raised in a way to write and reflect on ourselves. One of the school principals, 2 people shared similar views like this. I don't share my diaries with my colleagues. I'm writing only to share it with my mentor. Many times, however, I have seen my colleagues reading my diaries when they find it on my table. That was sad, actually. And another person, she is also an English teacher and an assistant principal at a private school. She said, Ayşe, her pseudonym is Ayşe, I want to share my concerns with my colleagues at work. However, I cannot do this since I work at a private school. I know my classmates also experience similar problems at public schools. We should share our diaries more often during our class hours by keeping our identities anonymous. This could shed us a light about the ways in which we could overcome the roadblocks we encounter at our schools, at our classrooms. I want to conclude with Christopher Day's words. He has a very wonderful book called A Passionate Teacher. He is the founder of IZ, teacher organization, and he says that passionately committed teachers are those who absolutely love what they do. They are constantly searching the more effective ways to reach their children, to master the content and methods of their craft. They feel a personal mission to learning as much as they can about the world, about others, about themselves, and helping others to do the same. And these are the references. If you are interested, I could share them with you. Thank you so much. So, do we have time for a couple of questions, maybe? If you don't have a question, or I can ask you, which type of balance do you use? Like the ones who think that they are using the instrumental balance. How many of you? The instrumental one, the first one, the ideal one, actually. How about compensational? How many? Compensational, wow. Compensational, yeah. Yeah. Okay, conflicting balance? Yes. All right. Okay. Any segmentational balance? Really? Oh my God. All right. Thank you so much. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Please accept our thanks for your great presentation. Thank you very much again. Now it's raffle time. Okay, so it is full of great surprises. Fingers crossed, and time for the draw. Good luck to everybody. And I would like to invite Birsen Hoca to the stage. Hocam, for the raffle, please. Because, yes, you're the star of today. You didn't expect it. I know.
And my last question is for you, Betty. How are you, Betty?
I'm okay, you?
Fine, thanks. What were the criteria to choose an actor?
Hi everyone, I am today going to introduce you Beyoğlu, everything about it. I love you like a love song, baby. I love you like a love song, baby. I love you.
2, 1, 4. Ladies and gentlemen,
location is very clean. Its area is crowded and it's cheap. However, it is safe.
exam. And my last question is for you, Betül. How are you, Betül?
I'm okay, you?
Fine, thanks. What were the criteria to choose an actor?
Hi everyone, I am today going to introduce you Beyoğlu, everything about it.
I love you like a love song, baby. I love you like a love song, baby. I love you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is our competition. Certainly, this transportation is very quick. It's always crowded and it's cheap. However, it is safe.
Exam. And my last question is for you, Betül. How are you, Betül?
I'm okay, you?
Fine, thanks. What were the criteria to choose an actor?
Hi everyone, I am today going to introduce you Beyoğlu, everything about it.
I love you like a love song, baby. I love you like a love song, baby. I love you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is our competition. Certainly, this transportation is very quick. It's always crowded and it's cheap. However, it is safe.